All right, welcome back. Um, Recently we took out motor. We made this armor. Uh, I think I made these off camera, but I did make and upgrade the Vilebone Maul claws, and yeah, that's quite a bit more pierce damage. Increased also by the plus 20% pierce we have on these on the set bonus for the armor. And yeah, so we have these. We also have a pretty high fist skill. This is not the skill. This is the skill. It's up at 72. So that's quite a ways. Yeah. So recently I started planting some of the barley and flax, and I've also started processing some of that. So we'll have a little bit of flour to work with. I've been farming a little bit more. And one thing that I did recently is I installed a couple of mods, mostly just quality of life, and to look pretty. And one of the mods is plant everything. It basically just lets you plant all of this stuff. Now you can grow the ivy in vanilla with the ivy seeds from the bog witch, but it's easier to kind of free place it. And you can place a lot of these bushes and everything else just with the cultivator. So also you see I can plant a lot of this because I've got another little quality of life mod that lets me craft from containers. So everything that I have in here within a certain range that you can kind of change around, you can craft anything that you have the items for, at least in chests nearby. So we can just see right off the bat what all we can make without, running in and grabbing everything from the chests. And then we just have plant easily, which lets us plant in more convenient rows and columns and, plant more at once just to make some of the farming a little quicker. Now, you can do a lot of this without mods. You can at least get the ivy. You can't get these or a lot of the other bushes. Like you can plant berry bushes if you have 5 of one of the berry. You can plant a bush somewhere. And I'm just getting all of these through Thunderstore. It's just the mod manager I've been using, which tutorials on how to do that are pretty. It's a pretty easy Google. So, I think I'll be good leaving that way. Gonna ditch a lot of this other stuff. And maybe we see about making some new food. Yeah, we have a little bit of flour. But let me check the windmill so we can grab a little bit more from here. Yeah. I also added a cloudberry barrel. I don't know if I showed that off or not. So, let's see. Make some of that. What else would we need? I think we can make blood pudding too. So we'll take that. And maybe we get some fish too. I think I have some other fish in here. Somewhere. One of these. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. And let's head over here to the... You know what? Let me grab some wood because we'll need some of this for the oven. Let's just grab a little bit there. So the food prep table is what's going to let you make your different fishing baits, your raw fish, I guess. Okay, we got to make sure not to accidentally auto craft our puffer fish away because that would be pretty embarrassing. Okay, don't... Okay, yeah, I guess we're good. Um, so yeah, lox pie. You make with the cloudberries, the lox meat, and flour, which is pretty good. Now it tells you the health and stamina it'll give you, but you can't just eat it as is. You have to bake it, which is what the oven's for. Let me try to keep a good bit of that. And we can make this bread dough too. Which bread is good, but we can also make something else that doesn't use so much flour because we don't have a whole lot of flour right now. We can make all these other fishing baits for the different kinds of fish. Any of the hearty mountain loggers stew. You know, we can see what we need for all that. And, you know, I haven't looked into exactly how well you can use the feasts, but I imagine they can be pretty good when combined with a lot of the regular food. So in here, we'll just fill the bottom part with wood. And you can put 4 pies in at a time. And let those cook. We can also make... can we not make? Where is it? Here it is, blood pudding. Which is the thistles, the blood bags, and the barley flour. Which I guess I could have just left in the containers, right? Because of the mod. And then what else are we looking for our health food? I'm actually forgetting. Yeah, but these take a minute. So we can make the blood pudding. Which, like, this is a pretty good amount. Oh, yeah, it's fish wraps. Fish wraps was the food. What are we missing for fish wraps? Or oh, yeah, we need to cook fish. We don't have cooked fish. So, we need to cook some of this. I had gotten those out and completely forgotten why. So, yeah, the fish wraps are the reason. I can just put all of this back in here. And then craft from containers. But we can see, like, you know, what we need to use. Oh, well, looks like we got lox meat cooking. I think that's a... That is why we wanted to have these in our inventory, because I forgot it just pulls from the chests. Maybe you can configure that. So maybe I'll think about doing that. Because I don't really need cooked lox meat. I don't really need it for anything, I don't think. So maybe we try not doing that again. I don't know how much you need for the... How much do you need to make fish wraps? Yeah, it's more flour than we've got right now. So I think we'll just keep the sausages at the moment. Just put these away. Put those away. Because sausages, still pretty good. Okay, well, we have cooked lox meat now. Might as well just put that in here. Because we can't turn that into anything. Okay, we'll grab these. And that'll be a pretty good boost. We might continue raiding some fueling villages. See if we can get some of the... What is it? Fueling totems, that's what I was looking for. Fueling totems, any more black metal, any free barley and flax we can just have without trying to just grow more of it. We do have a farm set up here too, so we can check that. We might set up a boar farm over here too, because I think we're far enough out in the world that we're going to be getting like 1 and 2 star boars spawning, which would be quite good. Oh, it was aiming for the neck, I think. It said psych. Alright, so we have that taken care of. This is not yet grown, although some of it's a little close. I guess we'll just have to run around a little bit here. I can also bulk harvest a little bit with my with plant easily. I think that's what is letting me do that. So we'll grab some cloudberries too, just because we're going to be using them a little more regularly. Grab more of these. And we're going to basically just be raiding fueling camps and maybe checking out some more tar pits. Although I don't know... Oh, I don't know if I need to take out that shaman first. Okay, nice. I don't know. Oh, it's going to rain. I probably won't show a lot of the tar pit stuff on camera because it is just kind of boring mining. There's another shaman over there. Okay, we got a couple coming over this way. It's best not to draw the ire of the entire fueling camp at one time. That is a way to get killed. And overwhelmed pretty easily. I do want to see if one of the... Yeah, let's just get him over here. Yeah, buddy. We can probably stun him. I'm going to dodge one hit and then see if I can... Yeah, I can. Yeah, wow. That's pretty powerful. Sometimes these guys can also drop their own fueling totems, although I'm not sure what the chance is, or if they need to be starred fueling berserkers. But yeah, you can kind of just slowly take them out at a distance. Oh yeah, you're running. That's why it helps to have a bit of a bow skill too with this. I haven't really played the archery route too terribly much. I think it's probably fun to do, but I just... Oh! That's not great. Yeah, we do take increased damage from that, actually. Because of the downside of the set bonus. Are there any chests? There are. Okay. Let's dump some of this black metal so we can actually carry the rest of this. Okay. I was hoping to get either a fueling... Actually, I think we got the fueling berserker trophy. We don't have a fueling shaman trophy, which is a little unfortunate. We can grab this, which of course we'll get two. But yeah, we don't really have any of the fueling shaman trophies, and I think that's what we need to get the last... What am I thinking? Trinket. I completely lost the word there. Wow. And trinkets are cool. We can also try out a couple of the other ones. I'm not a huge fan of some of the plains trinkets. But some of them might be pretty good. Especially the, oh, what is it? I think it's the one that I can make. The Bracelets of the Brave. We might use that specifically for the Yoggoth fight, because we will be using the Frostner probably for that. And that We don't need the Buke parries for anything. Can we carry this? No. Yeah, let's just leave that here for now. But it does... I think that's the trinket that gives us the extra blunt damage. And that is big if true, because we will be doing a lot of damage that way. Are there any more? Yeah, there's one way over here, which we can run to. The growths and loxes fighting. Okay, we can eat these now. More growths and loxes fighting. Okay. Yeah, the plains is a cool biome, and I just realized, you know what would be nice, right? It's a little bit of the plains music. I was just saying, oh, the plains is nice and peaceful. The music is nice, and there was no music. So, a lot of people like building bases in and around the plains, especially because you need to be in the plains to farm a lot of the stuff you need out of the plains. Like, a lot of it is best gained by farming if you want a lot of it. So people will usually set up a bit of a plains base, and we might do that over by Hilder. Set something up. Shall I ditch that? I'll just keep the stack of cloudberries for now. See if we can't take out that shaman, or maybe we can try to play a little more fast and loose with this one. I see that shaman over there. Yep. You thought. Yeah, the claws are powerful. It seems. It's probably best to run in here with something like an at gear if you are going to run in here. The Froster is nice because you can slow a lot of enemies down, but the at gear is great for just a lot of crowd control. Let me get that one guy up there. Ooh. Dodged. Tried to just throw that at the corner of the thing. And we're using the needle arrows as well now with the Draugr Fang, so we're doing quite a bit of damage. If I remember right, it is mostly pierce damage too. Okay, we got this guy. Oh, he just isn't throwing the spear. We're good. Trigger our anklet. Oh, we're good. We have a shaman currently blowing up everything over there. See if we can get around him. It's alright. It's alright. We're cool. Yeah, he just blew up a lot. Also, if you need like a lot of deer hide and even some bones, that's what most of the... I think it's bones, right? Let me break some of this. There's bones somewhere. No, those are the tar pits I'm thinking of. Yeah, if you need a lot of like deer hide or leather scraps in the plains, and you don't really have like a nearby meadows, you can always like break some of the tanning racks, um, and some of these roof structures have a lot of deer hide in them, so that makes that easy at the very least. I'm gonna use the scythe because it's more fun. And again, grindstones for some reason. I don't know why that is. We don't need 6 fueling totems. That kind of seems like a lot. There are a good number of these places too if you get kind of caught out during the night, where you can set up a really quick little sleeping area. Because some of these places, if you can't make a campfire, some of them have the little bonfires, yeah, like right over here, that you can just add fuel to. And then you can like break and replace one of these beds and make a nice little makeshift sleeping arrangement. In case you need to regain a rested bonus or something like that. So that can be kind of convenient. Okay. We're basically just in it for the barley and the the gold. If I had to pick, I guess we can take the flax too, but the barley and the gold is the main thing. But yeah, that was a fueling camp that was just kind of in this bunch of things. I just got rid of the marker. I made it, and then I got rid of it. Because I forgot what button was what button. Yeah. So, raiding throughout the plains, as long as you're equipped, and you kind of have a, you know, you don't draw too much attention at once. Or if you can, you know, you can take off a few of the major threats from a distance. It's really not too bad. And for a lot of that, you always want to make sure that you're rested. Ideally not wet, but, you know, whatever. You know, make sure you're fed, obviously. And a lot of that is not too bad. The tar pits can be a bit of a challenge, but just make sure to like strafe around the growths quite a bit. Because if they hit you with one shot of their little tar spray, they're gonna hit you with a lot of them, and you're gonna take a lot of damage very quickly. So, yeah, be wary of that, because that's dangerous. We'll mark this one down. Oops. Yeah. So, we're just gonna head back. And I guess if we see any vials or something on the way, we can take those out, but we don't really need to. Because we have the vial armor. We have it upgraded. Oh, there's a Draugr village over there. I think I remember seeing that. Yeah, I remember seeing that from over this way. Yeah, we don't really need them for anything. I'll take these guys out. So yeah, every biome becomes a little bit more dangerous at night. There will be a greater chance of starred enemies, or starred enemies in general. Pardon me, in general, if they don't normally show up. And there are some enemies that only show up during the nighttime. Oh yeah, we kind of pacified this area here. This was the one tar pit that we ended up mining out. We don't currently have a light source. Although I guess we want to just do this. If we want to cheat Activate our little night vision overlay here. Yeah, this is the one that we dug out. We don't feel rested anymore. We can check the crops. See how those are doing. See if we can't take those. Not quite yet. Probably tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, no, we're pretty powerful at this point. Especially compared to a lot of the other stuff we've been facing. Oh, there's a bear. Yeah. This game, a lot of this game is like the stuff that was once difficult to take out, or at least a chore, right? Is now just not a problem. What's going on? Okay. Okay. That's pretty good. Oh, there's a bear trophy in there. Hold on. That's worth more than the black metal, to be honest. Wow. That guy's getting bullied by death skeetos. Damn. Come on. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I missed that one. Hey, look, it's Odin. Oh, bye, Odin. Oh, hey, look, it's a vial. Take care of this death skeeto. All right. What's going on, Vial? We can see you a little better with this night vision. It still didn't see us. But yeah, it's basically just an undead bear. Wow, okay. That was a little risky. Alright, cool. Take the money. I don't think we need any of this. Although it is cool. It would be nice to have backup armor. But we don't need any of that. Let's just head home. Alright? Let's just run back. Take care of this guy. No witnesses allowed. Of course. Even this boar's getting a little too interested in the portal. Alright. Run back over here. We will still need to finish this as well. And maybe that'll be soon. It should be soon. I think what I'm going to do off camera is probably take care of some tar pits. Get enough tar for the roofing that I was going to put, because I was going to put the... Wow, everything's so bright now. But these roof pieces on the shingle roofs are made with the tar, as well as these dividers and the dark wood beam pieces. So I feel like that's just going to add a little extra layer of cool. All right. Turn our night vision off. I'm just using an NVIDIA overlay also. I should mention stuff like that more often, because I will mention something in a previous episode and then like down the line I just won't explain it. And not everybody like watches every episode. Some people just, you know, chime in for whatever. And I forget that sometimes. Okay. Got this. And these. And I think over here. Although, yeah, we're just kind of putting stuff wherever now. I don't even think I need any more linen thread for anything, unless I want to make something particular, you know? But yeah, otherwise, if we weren't using the vile bone armor, we would be using the padded armor, which is another reason why you can never have enough iron, because they take iron to make. I guess the thing about the padded armor is that it doesn't have nearly the movement speed penalty that like a... Well, maybe it does. Does it? Maybe I'm just not remembering. So like how much is the wolf? Yeah, it's -5 too. Huh. Anyway, the bonus of the padded armor is that it's just more armor. It's the heavy armor set for the planes. But I'm a big fan of a lot of the alternate armors. So I think I use them all throughout the game. It also means less mining. But if mining and that grind is more your thing, you know, if you spend a little bit more time in each biome instead of buzzing through kind of like we've been doing, then that definitely might be a little more your speed. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We should probably, yeah, let's make a couple of these trinkets. We haven't gotten a golem trophy, so maybe we try to get a golem trophy at some point. That I think is what we need for one of the trinkets we can't actually make. We can make the wolf sight one. I'm just not really using, although the increased pierce damage, we're not really using bows or spears, but the pierce damage could be a little nice. But we can make, we did make the evasion mantle, I thought, or no, we can. The bracelets of the brave is what I'm thinking of. I guess we don't need a Fuling shaman trophy. But yeah, these bracelets of the brave, plus 20 in clubs, plus 10 in blunt. We already have plus 20 in blunt here. So that's plus 30% blunt damage, plus the 20 levels in clubs, plus Frostner. It's very cool. And that's probably what we'll want to do. Yeah, there's a few things we need to tick off our list here. So let's make those bracelets. I think I'm going to be using the anklet for a while, but once it comes to the actual Yagluth fight, we're going to be using the bracelets. So let's make that. And I guess we'll keep that in here for later. We'll have our trinket collection, and we can make the wolf sight one, so we might as well, can't we? Where is it? No? Let's make the evasion mantle then. Let's make sure we make one of all the things. So I guess that's increased dodge skill and reduced block stamina cost. Which, what does the dodge skill actually change? I know the dodge skill is kind of new. Stamina drain. Okay, so you can dodge a little bit more freely and use up less stamina doing so, which is probably pretty good. I typically am gonna just like a lot of these, you know, instant stamina gain things or movement speed thing. So like the nimble anklet is pretty good. This increased stamina regen, the bronze pendant, still pretty good. I think as long as you have more available stamina, it's fine. I think that beats out a lot of the other bonuses that you can get. I think until we get to magic, probably end up doing that a little bit more. I can also make an Atgear, which I kind of want to do. We haven't made the iron or the bronze one, but we might as well make a black metal one. We haven't used any of the at gears yet, but it's one of my favorite weapons, and it's what I usually use. Buff that up. We'll need to make a lot more black metal, so do we have... Well, we have some in there. We have this. We have 4 there. And we were keeping some of it out here, I think. Yeah. So we'll get some of that cooking, and we'll probably keep cooking up a little bit more of it. I've got plenty that I can run around in the few other fueling camps and just grab some out of the chests as well, so we can do that. But yeah, let me just talk a little bit more about this plant everything. I like it just because I can, I can be a lot more free decorating. We can also place stuff from the Ashlands, which we're not really meant to have. It is not exactly from here. We haven't seen it yet, and we won't see it for a little while. But it's nice to be able not just to kind of have a way to farm the other things like blueberries, raspberries, even the mushrooms we can plant. And I think there are thistles somewhere back here. Yeah. So a lot of those other things, cloudberries, we don't really have an option of farming a lot of those in a pretty direct manner. Like, you have to run to where the bushes spawn. And it's just kind of nice to have them around. And it's also nice to kind of have them as part of your little decoration scheme. Having a lot of foliage and bushes and stuff around the house does look a lot nicer. So that's kind of why I added that. It just gives us a little bit more customization. Maybe alleviates the grind just a little bit on some of the things like, those materials that we'd be like running between biomes to get. So I did that. We can grab a little bit more of this flour, maybe make some of those fish wraps. We also need to refill these, and we'll need to get on that. But yeah, I just figured it would make farming a little bit easier. Yeah, fill those up. And let's see, what else? Yeah, let's make these fish wraps. Boom, fish wraps. 70 HP. 23 stamina. 4 HP per tick. Very cool. So every little tick of health regeneration, you're getting 4 back. And I think this is also 4. Yeah, so that's a buff a little bit from the other plains items. The thing is, or the mountain stuff. The thing about health foods that's really nice, also, even though stamina I think is generally more important, is that having more stealth food. Imagine if there was such a thing. Having more health food. You have a higher regeneration rate by just having that. Because even the stamina-based foods of the same tier give you half as much back. Which does make sense, but, it's nice to be able to regen a little health. So we can make a little bit more. Couple more fish wraps. We'll probably need to do some more fishing. So I'm just going to put these in there for now, and we'll use the sausages for a little bit longer. Maybe actually, should probably be using these, right? The wolf skewers. Anyway, yeah. Right. Welcome. I made a bit of a cut, but I have placed this hot tub. It's one of the other... Where is it? It's probably in furniture, right? Yeah. So with some tar and some iron, you can place down a hot tub. And that's pretty cool. You can just kind of chill out, in your armor, as you do. But yeah, I figured I'd put one down in here next to all my other comfort items. So we've done a bit of farming and whatnot. I have placed a lot of these in a grid. I brought a new chest out here because I wanted to store more seeds. And we've refilled the windmills a couple of times. I've made a lot of extra food. I've been using just this backup food for a little while, I guess. And I've been catching groupers because I want to try to make that. There's an anti-sting mead that I haven't made yet that I can make. I guess we can swap these back out. I upgraded the Atgear a little bit. And I think we want to keep on working on the portal room a little bit. I did put a bit of a little roof on it, just to give you a basic look-see at what I did. Mostly I've just been going around and placing flooring off of these walls toward the center, just trying to make it look relatively neat and avoid any kind of like glitchy clipping. And I've put a little railing just with beams around this because I want this to remain open. I'll probably need to dig into the iron supply to make beams to support the rest of this. Because I do plan on having this just kind of jut out a little bit. Although, why is that blue? Why is this blue? It's kind of odd that that's blue, no? I didn't run any beams up here. Why is that? Why is that blue? Does it think it's connected to the rocks, maybe? I don't know. That's very odd. But we are going to... Either way, we're just going to build out a little bit here. And make a kind of balcony around this. So I want to have a little, area to look around at what is on top of the mountain. And I guess I can... I don't know. Do I want to break this rock? I kind of like having this peak here, so maybe I'll leave that in. There we go. Yeah, let's just place off of this. Okay. And yeah, that's pretty good probably. Yeah, so I want to have a little look around, so I can take in the views. I also will have room for another, I guess maybe smaller set of portals up here. So that will be an option for us. And I do think I want to make a base of some kind up here, or some kind of building over on that opposite peak, because I don't know, it just looks too nice not to do something like that, I think. How are we gonna go with this? like that, and like, hold up. We're gonna do this. I guess so, right? Yeah, maybe. That probably looks okay. Oh, maybe not. Is that one that far off? Why is that snapping higher? Why is it snapping higher? I don't know why that is. Just grab that. Wow, it really doesn't want to snap there, huh? That's kind of messed up. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of fill that in. I'll probably fill that in a little later. But I do want to put these walls back up around here. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do over here. Maybe, do I want it out even more? So like if I'm doing this, that's gonna make filling this be a little different, I guess. So maybe for right now, we scrap this, whatever we're trying to do here, and we bump it out by 2 instead, and then just think about where we're gonna go with it. You know, roofing this or getting this second level put on is a little bit annoying. Sometimes when you have a bunch of snap points or, you know, stuff that's a little janky like that, it doesn't actually want to snap in certain ways. Sometimes you can get the snap point you want, and other times it will literally just decide it doesn't want to snap there. So like, yeah, it's snapping above like that. There's that weird seam, so you kind of have to just place it manually. And hopefully end up with something that's not too bad looking. Oh. Doesn't really want to do it on that one either. As long as we lower it enough to get that seam out of the way, it's probably alright. Okay. Just make sure we place that. Yeah. And it doesn't look too bad. There are these weird cutouts on these corners, but I don't really think we're getting around that. It is easier, though, to place these last pieces when there's a little more space to do it after bumping one out, so that's a little bit better. So I did... Oop, we missed this. I did create the rest of this thing around, and I'm thinking what we do is bump the roof out by 1. If you've seen some of my other building videos where I'm making roofs or houses, you'll notice... Oop, you'll notice that I like to bump the roof out a little bit and give it a bit of overhang. I think we're going to give it a full, like, 2-meter overhang. So propping these up is going to help us place our roof tiles. So we'll have a little bit of this walkway that's out in the snow, and then we'll have a little bit that's, you know, covered at least. And I do love how the snow interacts there, I guess. Oops, we're missing a little something there. But, oh, yeah, it's a little odd. Some of the wall gaps aren't exactly there, but, actually, can I fix that real quick? I wonder. Yeah, but then this. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I just like how any little thing in the way will actually, you know, just make it so the snow doesn't show up there. It kind of works like the shadows do. Just a little funny. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep. I'm gonna finish the walkway up. I might even just leave this rock here. Um, but I'm gonna finish that walkway up and start making a framework for the roof to go on. Right, so we have finished the little outer walkway. What I did on for the railing, I just have the little 1 meter wood beams poking up, and then I've used the core wood beams to kind of fill in. And in between these little gaps where the floor gets kind of weird, I did have to manually place the core wood so it would look about as non-janky as possible. And then I've set up all these little struts off of the top wall here. I brought a bunch of tar with me also, and if you wonder how I'm crafting I've got the wood. That's craft from containers. I've got a couple chests down there with wood in them, and it's pulling from that. Just a little bit of modding happening there. So let's just make a good way up here. And we're going to start on figuring out how we want to roof this thing. We're going to need to make this full thing all the way around here. And of course I've fallen off, which is great. Oh, I know why I'm falling off. It's because of that angle. It's because of the beam here. Rocky terrain. Yeah. I don't know if I've made... I guess this roof is going to be a little bit weird, but we'll roll with it, whatever it is. I really like having a... I'm just going to put a ton of ladders up here. I really like having kind of a watchtower type building. I've never really done something exactly like this in an area like this. And it's great because, like, look at that. You know? Build a tall building at the top of a mountain. It's pretty good. Nope. So yeah. Oh, we do have this though to deal with. That's all right. I don't know what kind of other buildings I want to make. I know I've had a couple of ideas here and there, and I might, you know, once we get through Ashlands, if Deep North hasn't come out yet, this will become more of a building series. I think I'm just going to keep going with it. You know, the game will be essentially over, right? But the game doesn't end. You can still have building projects to do. So, like, why would the game be over? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to have some little struts out here for this one. Just about every 2 is a good rule of thumb. guess we do that, right? Probably that to make this look a little nicer. And yeah. So we're going to be using, I think we just want to do 26 roofs, right? Or do we want the full 45? That's going to mean a lot of walls, probably. We can start 45 at least. That's what I think. Anyway. Yeah, we should still put those in. Also, another thing, now that I'm thinking about it, is we can put cooler doors on this thing. So, instead of these, right? Instead of those, get rid of that. We can have these doors. Which are a little cooler. So, you know, there's that. Feels more official that way. And we'll probably put some beams in here too. So we can... Do we want to... Does it even make sense? I guess it makes sense to frame it with the dark wood poles. Yeah. It looks a little more nice and official that way. But yeah, no, this is a cool one. I'm liking this one. And I can't wait to roof this off. We'll get this, I guess, snow out of here, and we can start figuring out how we want to light the place. We might end up moving these hearths because they're kind of just underneath the underneath the floor there. We'll figure out what we want to do exactly. But yeah, it's looking pretty cool. And honestly, I might leave some of these spots open. I'll see if I want to put more doors out here, but right now we're just doing this. The beams also, another nice thing about the beams is that they do stop you from sliding all the way down. If you're placing the shingle roofs, right? The beam will stop you from sliding off of them. I guess you slide off of any 45-degree roof tile. This is too slippery. But yeah, these are gonna look good. And I honestly don't know how much tar I'm gonna need for it. So I might need to go grab more, but we're just gonna start roofing till we, I guess, can't roof anymore. But it is slow building for the moment. You know, when you run out of materials for a project you're working on, sometimes it's nice to, you know, stop by the farm, do some maintenance, check on your boars, make sure they're happy. I'm gonna need to probably take out some more tar pits before I finish the entire roof. So I'm probably going to do that next episode. But thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. And, you know, I'll see you in the next one. I'll just be farming onions till then, I guess. But yeah, have a good one.